Turn that off.
All right, we're live, and Samurai Ox is in the chat. Why don't you join us in here, dude? Anyways, hey everybody, for anybody watching live and for anybody that might be watching the recording later, this is the Anthology crew here. We're about to launch our Kickstarter for our book, Life in Space. This is the book that we put together back in, well, we started talking about it in December of 2016, right? Was it that long ago now?
Yeah.
December
Yeah.
2016.
Yeah.
And then January 1st, we got started on our comics. And for 100 days, 20 people were working on either a comic or a pinup, just given the theme Life in Space. And you know what? We did it. And a little over a year later, we're about to launch our Kickstarter. And that's what we're here for.
Yay!
How's that for an intro?
It's
Perfect.
That's not even that bad for like an anthology, though. I've seen some that are like, it took us 10 years. It took us 5 years. That's
Well,
not
when
bad.
that's the thing when you got that many people, the fact that everyone actually did the challenge and did it on time and everything, and completed it, because it's been complete. You know, I think it was a little bit afterwards that it took a little while just to organize the Kickstarter, but. But yeah, everyone did a really good job. So, and that's usually not the case. I mean, anytime I've ever done any kind of collaboration on a comic book, it's just like, oh, this probably isn't going to happen.
Yeah, and everybody really stuck to that 100 days pretty well. We had a few that kind of spilled over a little bit later, but you know, things happen, and so we accommodated that. And I mean, it was just amazing. That was a really fun time too, because we were doing so many hangouts at that time.
Yeah,
Everybody
it was
working
good.
on their books. That was cool.
Yeah, I was definitely one of the spillover folks, but we got it done.
We
Yeah,
held the
you
door
got it
open
done.
for you.
But I think that goes to show how much of a community this is, because we were helping each other out. We were cheering each other on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It also like establishes an actual comic community, because there's so many things like related to comics or like any kind of art thing where it's like there'll be varying levels of art and then people don't help each other out. But with this, you're kind of like required to help each other out to even make it happen.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it's like,
Like if you don't finish, we don't have a book. Come on.
yeah.
But no, that's a great point. I think just the fact that this book came together is sort of a testament to this community, you know, because everybody that joined in was really on board with just the community itself. And we all kind of get to know each other through our videos and posts and whatever. And it was actually pretty easy to work with everybody throughout this whole thing. You know, like everybody wanted this to happen. That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a great, like, kind of milestone for this specific community too, because there's a ton of comics communities, but you don't see a whole lot of them putting out books. You know, it's mostly just groups on Facebook. You just post work and that's it. And it just sort of becomes this sort of never-ending waterfall of content without any real interaction. You know, whereas
Right.
like here we all got together to make something happen. It's really
Yeah.
cool.
That's the cool thing, because the parameters of the actual challenge doesn't necessarily say that you have to finish a book, just that you have to, put in at least, whatever, 30 minutes a day, every day for 100 days. But it's cool that we were able to kind of take that and actually make a piece that can kind of showcase a lot of people's work and everything. So,
yeah. It was neat too that we decided to do it in 100 days too.
yeah, that was
kind of like really pushed that. Like, hey, you know what? What if we could do a comic in 100 days?
I thought that was a good touch.
So I'm probably jumping the gun right here, but I'm just curious. Has there been any thought to doing another one? Because I think, did we put like book one on this or something?
We did. There's a number one on the spine. That's true.
So it's a possibility if this thing funds and everything, and
yeah, that'll probably
that's
be
up to everyone watching, really.
Yeah. There's definitely been talk of a book too. We've been kind of holding off on getting specific about it because we still haven't done this one yet. But I know that there's at least a few people that were involved in this that would want to do it again and maybe even want to be involved in the next one too. But it's such an enormous task that it would either, if we did it like yearly, we'd have to pass it off to an entirely new team because it's a lot of work to do, one year after another, or do it every other year. That's a possibility too.
That makes sense. I think that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, even still, that's pretty awesome to put out a book every 2 years, an anthology book every 2 years.
I will absolutely be down for the next one.
Cool.
This is so much fun.
Yeah, I would like to actually do a story instead of just a pinup if you do it again.
Awesome.
I say that now, and I'm probably going to regret it.
It's recorded. You're held to it now.
Yeah.
It's true. Audio evidence. Hey, and Samurai Ox just joined us. What's up, man?
Hello.
Ox.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, we should probably mention that everybody here took part in the anthology. So everybody on the stream right now is in the book. So
In the book.
Yep.
Plus many more.
Plus many more, actually. There's a lot of people from all kinds of different time zones that couldn't make it in tonight. But, that's another thing about the book that actually I really just enjoy is we've got such diversity of like all types in here, different styles, different regions, different countries even. It's really cool. There's a lot of different influences that have gone into this book. And everybody's comic is so different, but they all really go well together, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the fact that we decided to keep it as a black and white really helped hold it together, even though, some of the stories are really different. The way that we decided to design it and put it together, and everyone was voting, everyone had a voice in it. So, yeah, it really came together. There are some stories that are like drama, and some stories are comedies, and it's just like this spectrum of entertainment.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Life in space, a spectrum of entertainment.
Oh, it's such a good slogan.
It really is. Well, it's not too late. We could edit the Kickstarter. Actually, what do you guys say? Should we launch it? It's just a click away.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like a drum roll or something, or
We can. Who wants to do the drum roll?
I can't do a drum roll. Does anyone actually? Does Ox? Do you play drums or anything?
I play bass guitar, not
Bass
drums.
guitar. You can probably get a close enough sound with the bass guitar.
Yeah,
Still
give us
all
a
that-
bass roll.
Let me just drag everything out and give us another 20 minutes to set up.
oh yeah, we're gonna stall as long as we can. Just build up the tension.
No, I think me and Scott and Holly are the ones that have done Kickstarters. Has anybody else done Kickstarters here?
No.
I have not. This is my first. I know Scott has.
I'm excited to see what your guys' enthusiasm is, like minutes after launching, because that's the real you hold your breath.
We were kind of talking about that earlier. Just how it might get a little crazy refreshing or checking and be like, oh, has anyone donated? Or...
Yeah. I was thinking it's kind of late, but then again, we do have sort of a worldwide audience, so who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's 3 people watching now, so thank you to you 3.
Hello, 3.
Although it might be you and me, Scott.
Yeah, I know I've got it up. So
I have it on my phone. It could be.
All right, so it's
Hello,
you and Holly.
Hi, us. How are we doing?
Oh, we're doing awesome.
Yeah, I don't usually worry too much about who's watching live so much unless they're commenting because people watch it on the replay and stuff. Usually.
True.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
All right, I'm launching. Here it goes.
Right.
Here we go.
Oh.
Da-da-da.
Can you take a screenshot of it or not?
I can. Here we go. Do this. Boom.
Yay!
We've launched. It's live. Oh my
At
god.
least says drum roll.
We're going back now, Mike.
All right, here's our link. Now I gotta update all kinds of stuff.
Oh, wow. Well, here it is.
I'll admit that's actually a weird feeling. That's actually there.
It is there. Whoa. I can back this project.
Oh, that's so cool.
We did it. We did it.
Yeah, we did it.
That's
You know
the hard
what?
part.
Even if we don't get funded, this is such a huge accomplishment for all of us. So
Oh, yeah.
everyone, pat yourselves on the back.
I would think it would have to take the internet stopping completely for a good month long for us not to hit it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just...
Mike and them did such a good job with the book, let alone the Kickstarter page. Like, it's pretty straight up, just incredible across the board.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, I had heard, I listened to a bunch of stuff on Kickstarters, and one of the things they said was that I guess the most successful category for Kickstarters is dance, and the reason why is because it's usually a group effort, and anytime you have a group effort, and that goes the same for this project because it's an anthology. I mean, everyone's resources are coming together, so I just don't see. I mean, I don't see a world where this thing doesn't fund, but you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at like the Kickstarter page all the time, it's like nothing but anthologies, and I'm just like, oh my god, I get annoyed as like a comic person, but that's what people are always looking for.
Good. That's a good thing for us.
That's what we've got.
So the domain needs to be confirmed, so that might take a minute, but other than that, at some point soon in the very near future, you can get straight to the Kickstarter by going to 100daysofmakingcomics.com, which is pretty sweet.
Wow, no one took it.
Yeah, well, they did for a while. I don't know if you heard. There was a guy who, for at least a year, he was like boasting in the chats and during the Artcasters that he bought up all the domains, and he had nothing to do with the 100 Days of Making Comics. He was just keeping it warm, pretty much, and nobody knew who he was.
What a tool!
Yeah. So
Weird.
every now and then I check to see if he's forgotten to re-up it, and like a few months ago I saw that he didn't renew it, so I'm asking everybody to donate the fund, and we bought up all of them, so we've got .com, .net, .info. We've got all
awesome.
of them now.
If he's watching this,
I
you
hope
are
he
the
is.
worst.
Got it back, dude.
And this person didn't contact anyone trying to sell it to him, like Kevin or anyone, or
no, he just, Creed remembers him actually, and he used to just be kind of a little arrogant, like,
well, you think,
like, oh, I got
something like
a
that.
domain, and I can be responsible for it now. It was weird. It was around the time when I first started doing the challenge too, so I didn't really like speak up about it because it was like, who am I? But after 5 rounds, I'm just saying.
Jeez.
I was like, I'm gonna snatch that up.
I hate looking for domains. It always makes me mad.
I know, everything's been taken.
Or even just usernames. That's why I'm HC Brown and not Holly Brown. I'm like, that's so annoying.
Are you also Holly Jolly Holly?
No.
No?
No, I don't know who that is.
Oh, someone's pretending to be you then.
Oh, great.
Oh.
Da-da-da-da.
Well, now you're famous.
Wow.
Yeah, you're gonna have to have the real Holly Brown Twitter link and all that stuff like the celebrities do.
Twitter, it's hard to get like verified on Twitter, so that's never gonna happen. So I have like applied for that stupid check mark for so many times.
The little verified check mark.
Yeah, it's dumb. I don't even know what the requirements are other than, are you famous enough to get this check mark?
Is that
No.
what they ask?
I don't know, but
Oh.
you're
Have you
supposed to be
applied
like,
since you put your or hit your big milestones on YouTube?
yeah. I do it every now and again, and it just doesn't let me. It's probably like, oh, you post garbage content, so no.
Dang you, Twitter.
Oh, dang. Well, I just killed it.
Yeah, so you'll have to look into that. I thought it was you because this person was like responding to people's questions on your video and stuff.
What? No. I'm
Yeah.
the only two things that I have are HC Brown and Holly Brown vlogs.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, you've got a doppelganger now.
Oh,
Oh, that's
great. Why do
weird.
people do
Sorry,
that? That
dude.
is so weird. Like, a lot of YouTubers have those things, and I'm like, what is your end goal? Like,
Yeah, that's
like,
weird. I guess it's kind of an honor, right? Like,
no, it's not.
not at all.
Like, copy somebody worthy.
Oh, you're worthy, Holly.
Oh, you're definitely worthy, Holly.
Well, if you can get somebody that actually shares your opinions on everything that poses as you, they can answer all their questions for you, so you don't have to worry about it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Save work.
I keep meaning to make like an FAQ page like all the real people do, and I just like don't do it. Like, most people have like those links where you like link it to a page so you don't have, like, Jake Parker has one. I'm like, that's genius. I'm never gonna do it because I'm lazy, but that makes so much, because I get the same questions over and over again.
Well, Jake Parker did something that was pretty smart on his website. He's, because everyone asked him, what tools do you use? So he put them all up on his website with affiliate links attached to them. So people go there, and I've done it from his site and bought pens and stuff. So he's making some money off of that too.
I wonder if that guy went to like law school or something. He has like so much business knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, what is your deal? There's no way.
Well, he grew up out here in Arizona.
Whoa. He must be like a secret like entrepreneur guy. He's like, he's probably on VHS tapes trying to sell his condos or something. We'll never know.
So how's it feel to have launched, everybody? This is crazy.
It's crazy.
I mean, I feel for you, Mike, just because I've done it before, and I know where you've been. But right now, and I don't think it's just because I've done it before. I think it's just because I don't have to do. Because really, to let you know, the hard part's coming up. It's all the promotion and keeping on top of everything. That's, launching it is one thing, but staying on top of it and answering questions and following up and all. And well, I guess it won't be so bad as far as promoting, because everyone's gonna kind of help in that regard. But when it's just you, it's a lot of work. Holly and Noah can attest to that.
Yeah, I feel like I was horrible with that. I just like totally like, most people like will respond and like give thank yous, and I was just like, no, sorry. I can't. I suck at this.
Yeah, but you still got it done, and the book turned out great.
I think the hardest part was shipping it out. So it's like, since we were not shipping it out, or like ourselves, that's probably going to be the easiest thing. Yeah,
Kickstarter, or not Kickstarter, Kablam is going to really help us out a lot with that. There's still some work that we got to do, though, if people back the like the original sketches and stuff like that. I think to save on cost, we would most likely be sending those out ourselves. So
that's not a big deal.
But, that's like a small fraction compared to everything else. That's
like max 3 people, so it's like, okay. Like, I'm being generous. Like, people don't usually back original art tiers. They're like, I don't know. I am very doubtful of that one, but who knows? Maybe that's all the tiers. That would be kind of funny, though. It's like, here, draw 60 things for this.
We got somebody in the chat that says, is it okay to ask how much the book will be sold for? Yeah, absolutely. It's public knowledge.
I didn't know that either. So that's a good question.
The price of just the book, just the physical copy of the book, is going to be $20, and you're going to get the physical copy, the digital copy, and your name in the thank you section. If you want just the digital copy, that's $10, and you'll get the digital copy and your name in the thank you section as well. So there you go.
So I thought they were asking, is there like an actual price on the physical book? So say if we get the books and then we're selling them, I don't know if that's the question they were asking or not. But
yes, actually
a suggested retail price, I guess.
The suggested retail price would be $20 on the book. So the tier where you get the book, you're actually getting the digital copy for free. So
that's cool.
Yes, indeed. Got some good deals up in here, everybody. Come on down.
So what is everyone that's on the chat? What are they planning on doing to help promote it? I know I got a video that I'm going to post tomorrow for it, and then do the art casters, and throughout the month or throughout the campaign, I want to try to have some of the creators on the art casters and just promote it while it's live. So, what about you guys?
I'm gonna be doing the hundreds again.
So you're going to start it early enough where it's while the campaign's going? That's
I'm pretty
awesome.
much going to do it either at the end of this week or next week.
Cool.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
well, I just want to work on
are you doing it
comics.
for any particular, which one of your comics are you doing it for? Is it just comics in general?
Both, but
Both.
Probably more for Paranormal Plague because that one requires more energy for me to try to do it. Colors.
Because you're kind of doing the comics every day anyway, and if you make it a live stream, then
I always
a lot of extra content.
forget that like live streaming isn't that difficult compared to like making a fully edited video. I'm like,
Right.
oh yeah, that's like easy.
Well, that's what I keep telling like Josh Kimball, because he's basically doing the challenge. He's just not officially doing the challenge, because every day he's working on his book. So.
Another question in the chat. Would any of you care to give a quick pitch of what your bit is in the book?
Well, mine's just a pinup, so there's really not, I think the people that actually did stories are probably more qualified to do that.
Sure.
It's a killer pinup. You're gonna want to cut it out of the book and paste it up on your wall. So you might want to get two
Might
books.
want to get
you
several
can tear the one
copies.
up.
You could even take one and color it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I've seen people do that with manga books, and it drives me nuts. I'm like, why would it's not a coloring book?
It could be if that's what we'll sell them to anyone, even if you want to color them.
Yeah, if you want to color
You do what
it,
you want with them.
it doesn't matter. Just buy it. Buy. Consume. What? There's a movie that I don't remember what movie that is. It's like
They Live. Or
Yeah, I think so.
that was already. I don't know. That just popped in my head. Sorry, it was random.
Actually, Holly, you'd be a good one to talk about your part in the book because our theme was life in space, and you definitely took it in a little bit different of a direction than everybody else did.
Yeah,
which I thought was really cool.
So the theme is life in space. So I was like, everyone's gonna do one based off of literal space, and to some extent, mine kind of does at the end, but mine's more about two dudes spacing out, zoning out. And I thought that was kind of, semi clever, but also kind of not following the theme at all. So,
Well, I remember there wasn't any stipulation that it had to be outer space. It was whatever your interpretation of that was. So
Yeah.
it's nice that at least somebody went sort of a more orthodox route.
I feel weird about doing that though. It's kind of because I've bought anthologies before, and I see people who sort of switch up the theme, and it can either work or it can be annoying. I'm like, this isn't the theme. I'm lazy, So I'm mixed feelings about it, but I tied in both, so it works.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I was actually surprised that more people didn't do that. A lot of us did kind of take it sort of literal.
I thought about doing the space route, but then I just couldn't think of anything remotely story-wise that it wouldn't be just copyright infringement. So
I'm too much of a fan of drawing robots and things to not do something in space. So
yeah, yours was unique too, Patrick. You took a different direction with yours as well, going with no dialogue, right?
yeah, I tried to just let the images speak for themselves. So tried to make it simple enough so you can follow along without needing any dialogue. So it was an interesting attempt. and I think it turned out pretty good. You'll have to
Good.
check it out. You want to find out what happens.
There you go.
To be
That's the
continued.
way to pitch it.
Anyone else?
Yeah, well, my story kind of hinges on my. So I write my own comic, drawn. I Never Forgot. It's basically a story of a drifter wanting to accomplish one last goal before you can pass along happily, but it's told through these puppets. So my story incorporates these puppets in a way they haven't been shown in my story, and it's kind of just a nice little story that is adjacent to my world, but not completely. So it was a nice little fun thing to play around with.
Yeah, it turned out really cool.
I purposely did not even though the book is available on like there's a secret link where you can download this stuff for the people involved. I purposely haven't looked at it because I just want to wait and I want to see it, in the flesh. So.
Oh, I did, because I'm like too curious.
Well, I know you always open your Christmas presents early and stuff like that.
I'm like the type, I hate surprises. I'm just like, that sucks.
Yeah, I love surprises.
I'm like, nope.
I should have
That's
done
what we're gonna
that,
have to
but I
do for
couldn't
the
wait.
second book. Is just hide in QR codes for our other books.
That's actually kind of cool. Like, I love it when you, like, some people do these things on YouTube where they like hide in, like they embed secret links to like private videos, like unlisted videos on YouTube. And I'm like, God, I always want to do that. Just like stick a random secret video. That would be so neat. But in comic form.
Second book's gonna be espionage.
Oh,
that'd be cool.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. I like it.
Well, this is like the first anthology I was a part of, and I'm like, oh, it ran well. If I ever join another one, I'm sure it'll be horrible compared to this one.
Keep running this one just every time we make it.
There you go.
Well, it's like you always hear these horror stories like it never got made, or this person never paid me, or this person did, horrible XYZ thing, or I was never credited, and I'm just like, I don't think that'll happen in this book.
No, that's great.
Well,
we're not even getting paid for this one, so it's
I was gonna say we took out the getting paid factor, so
it's not even like. But even if you're getting paid for like just being a part of a book, which is like some people don't even get their books when they work on some of these, and I'm like, oh my god, that sucks.
Yeah,
you didn't even get the book. And some of them don't even get made. I'm like, aw.
Yeah, you might want to explain to people how that does work, Mike, as far as what our kind of payment is, assuming this thing funds.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. It's so complicated. Our main mission is to just get each creator a book, and we have
hopefully more than one book.
right. But we had to set a minimum, and it ends up that this is all very expensive to do this kind of thing because we've taken everything into consideration. I actually brought in some help. My girlfriend Mel, my partner in crime, have been together forever. She's much better at this stuff than me because she deals with this on a regular basis. She does events coordination at her job, and so she's constantly managing budgets. So her and I sat down together to work out this budget, and there's just so much that goes into it. You got, the cost of getting everything together for the book, things like ISBN numbers and shipping different materials, like, for example, the rewards and stuff like that. Taking all of that into consideration, we came up with like a bare minimum that we would need to just produce the absolute minimum. And then from that, you had to find backers, and then you have to account for all the rewards for the backers and all the shipping for the backers. And I mean, this thing ended up being very, very complicated. It's like several pages long and a lot of math and functions, but I can guarantee without without a doubt that we've covered all of our bases. So if this thing funds, we will definitely be able to do everything that we've promised. So I know that's something that a lot of Kickstarters have trouble with, and so I even wrote about that a little bit on our Kickstarter page too, in a little bit more detail about, under the risks and rewards. We're very confident that everything we're setting out to achieve will be able to. So, yep.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. As long as I get one book, I'm like, yeah, one book. Good enough.
I think, yeah. Well, hopefully more, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, you always have to set your expectations low so then you don't get upset. That's what I do.
Well, and I know there was a lot of concerns too about setting our goal too high. And so, excuse me, that's why our goal is pretty low for accomplishing this, actually, because I want to make sure that we can hit it no matter what. If we hit the bare minimum, then everyone's at least going to get one book, and all the backers will get whatever that they order too. So if we could do better than that, then better for everybody. That's awesome.
Well, it's also the benefit of black and white. It's like way cheaper.
It is. It really is. It really is. But even still, that ended up being pretty expensive anyways, because we have 20 people involved, and all that shipping and stuff. I was thinking about this, and maybe this is a conversation we can get into a little deeper another time, but it's way different when you've got an anthology where you're doing this for multiple people. Like, multiple people are benefiting from this. There's no like single publishing house that's getting a majority cut or anything like that. Me and Chris and Marsh, we're not getting anything special. This is just a collective, and it's way different if it's just a single person. It made a lot more sense to me how a single person could kind of make a profit off of something like this, because they're getting everything shipped to like one place and dealing with that themselves. Whereas like this, I don't see any way to actually make a profit on this. Like, we're just trying to get the book printed and get it into people's hands, But yeah, it's an interesting thing. Kickstarter is it's been a very interesting learning experience.
Interestingly enough, as far as like the goal of at least one book and all that,
Mm-hmm.
For me, my goal was to finish it and have it be a thing, and that's already done. So anything beyond this is just icing on the cake, really.
Yeah.
It exists in a physical form, and I'm a part of it, and that was the best part for me.
Yeah. I think that's how it was for a lot of us, actually, But I mean, just me personally, I couldn't go through with the Kickstarter without getting everybody at least a book. It just felt like that's the minimum that we should do,
Yeah, it makes sense for sure.
We got another question in the chat, and thank you so much for this person in here asking these questions. This is awesome. This person said, "How do you folks figure out who would be in the anthology?" This is awesome. We had actually pretty strict requirements, but also pretty loose. Like, the main requirement is that everybody that was involved in this had to have finished the 100 Days of Making Comics challenge, like legitimately done the videos and all that, and finished. So nobody that was in the anthology hadn't actually finished that challenge. So we got like the heavy hitters from the group in here. And that was it. Beyond that, there was no real other requirements, because honestly, that's enough. Like, the 100-day challenge is difficult, so we knew that we could count on these people to produce and to finish their work when the time came. And sure enough, like, every single person that stayed on finished their book. I mean, we started with a couple more people, but they dropped off before it even started. It wasn't a case where it was like a few months in, they're like, "Oh, guys, I don't think I'm going to finish. This isn't going to happen. You're going to have to pull me out." It wasn't like that at all. Everybody that started on January 1st finished. So we had an awesome team. That was a really great way to do this, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of forgot about that, because when I was talking about how, it's cool that everyone actually completed it and everything, but yeah, we did have that sort of, prerequisite that you had to have finished the 100 Days of Making Comics. So that kind of helped with that, I think.
Oh, we got our first backer.
Oh,
Awesome.
That is the best reaction I could have hoped for.
that's
I'm
awesome.
curious if it's Scott who's in the chat. He's the one that's been asking all the questions, I think.
I don't know, maybe. Whoever it is, thank you.
Thank you.
It's so funny because now I've done 8 of them, so it's like this isn't a huge deal to me, but like I knew it'd be a huge deal for you guys since this is your first time out, and like, yeah, as soon as those start rolling in, it gets cooler and cooler.
Yes, we got our 1 a.m. backer.
Awesome. I should tell you one thing about Kickstarter. This is something that like I'm still dealing with Kickstarter is make sure somewhere on the page, make sure you put like use your real email.
Oh.
So many people didn't use like their like main email account for me, and I still have their books just sitting in my house waiting to be shipped.
Oh.
I put like tons of like things on the page like, hey, you know, I have the books. They're here. Please just respond.
Well, Kickstarter does some weird things too. Because remember, Holly, when I had to email you because I didn't get any of your emails? Later on, like months later, I found out that it was saying that my email was wrong, even though it was the same email, or my address or something was wrong, even though it's the same address, same email I've had forever. And it, you know, and then when it says
notifications, it's, I don't know, something about their email system's kind of whack. I'm just like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, because the stupid thing was, it said my email was wrong, but then it said, you know, you gotta, whatever I have to do to get it straightened out, you have to have them email something to you. So they just emailed it to the same email that they said was wrong, and I got it, and then I fixed it. So, but there's like, I think there was the comic book that Johannes Wick was doing. I contributed to that, but I never got it. And I'm like, well, they must not have finished it, but I guess they finished it, but I never got the notice that I was supposed to like provide my address, which is probably correct anyway, because like I said, I've been in this house for like 21 years. So, so I don't know. I mean, you got to keep on top of that. If you've been on the Kickstarter platform for a while, make sure that if you stop getting those alerts that something might be wrong, you got to check up on that.
It's weird though that it does that, but yeah, that was like a major problem with me because I still have like 40 books. Like people, I'm not lying. I've emailed them like a bunch of times. So whenever they check their email, I'm sure because I'm sure they use like a spam email to sign up for it or something. Because everybody has like those random spam emails where you just like, right. I don't want to get notifications. Oh, it's awful. Because now I'm just like, I don't, you know, I would like you to have the book. I don't want to sound scammy. Just to have the book. It is here. But at the end of the day, it's their money. And if they want to waste it, then, you know. But yeah, I would put that on the page so people do it.
Yeah, good to know. Yeah, that would be a nightmare, especially with all the commission tiers and sketches and stuff. If anybody backed for those, we'd have no way of getting a hold of them.
Well, I imagine if they want a commission, they'll care a little more. It's usually, like for mine, it was all just like the lowest tier that I had, which was just a book. And I was like, oh, that's annoying. Of course, nobody
I believe
did the art.
The longest I went was 2 years of not hearing from somebody, and finally they got back to me.
Oh, no.
And at that point, I had the first trade already. I was like, listen, you backed for the first issue, but you're getting the first 4 issues just because it makes more sense to send you one of these than just the basic issue.
Well, it's just something that's like, that shouldn't happen, you know, because it's kind of like a pre-order system, you know. So, assumedly, you'd put in an email that you want to know. I don't know. That just seems odd to me that you would put in an email that doesn't work. But a lot of people still don't understand how Kickstarter works. Like, every Kickstarter is like a new thing for people.
Heard a gasp of excitement.
I did.
We got another one.
We did?
Oh, gosh.
2 backers! Yeah.
Like, got another one. Oh, thank you so much. This is awesome.
Wow.
That's so cool. When you gasp, I immediately refresh the page to check. I was like, I think I know what that meant.
I thought you dropped something. I was like, oh, what? What happened?
Someone's breaking in the window. Gasp, an intruder. Hey Adam, you had a comic in the book. What could you say about your comic?
Is that in there?
I don't know.
He was.
Maybe he doesn't have his mic
He
on.
may be having some problems because at one point I saw like he had like 3 different like avatars up.
Yeah.
So it looked like maybe he was logging in and out. So because I haven't heard from him, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he can.
Can't
Well,
respond.
oh well.
If you can hear us, blink twice.
Well, it's a cool comic, I can tell you that.
So who all did stories and who did everyone but me do a story in the book? Because I just did the pinup.
Yeah, I think so, actually.
Yeah.
I'm the odd man out. Now I feel bad.
Oh no, it's fine. That pinup is so cool, man. I really dig it.
Yeah.
I would actually love if you did a print of that sometime.
Maybe I should.
I might cut out a page to paste it on my wall.
When I first started reading comics, my favorite pages were always those pages that were just like the pinup pages. I'm like, yeah,
Oh, really?
look at that. Yeah, I don't know why. They were always just like the coolest parts. I'm like, I want to cut this out, but I can't because it'll ruin the page. So
I had a couple comics that I would do that to as a kid, like ones that you could get cheap, like in a 50-cent bin or something. I would just cut stuff out.
I have a bunch of comics like that now because I bought like because I go to like half price books a lot and they have like these random things where it'll be like they'll have one good comic and a stack of comics, but you're not allowed to just buy the one good comic. And I'm like, what the heck? So you have to buy like 30 comics, but it's only like $2, so you don't think much of it. But now I'm just like, okay, well now I have all these garbage comics that I don't know what to do with. So I'm like, okay, I could deface it by shredding it and making it like some kind of like cat thing, or I could just, I don't know, I just use it for like random stuff whenever I'm like, I'll just send something to my sister. I need like packing in the inside. I'll just rip up this It sounds so heartless, but I'm like, you know.
It's actually pretty cool.
It's kind of a good idea to like take that and maybe shred the comics up so you can kind of, or if you can see that it's comics, but use it as packing because I mean you're selling comics, so it's kind of it's almost decorative, you know. So,
Yeah, that's true.
But I also feel like that's a little disrespectful.
Yeah, but no,
you know.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, did you have the early birds up yet?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
They should be at least. Let's see. They aren't showing up for some reason.
Uh-oh.
That's odd. Let me look into that.
You can edit it. It's fine. It won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are sleeping right now.
In other news, we got our third backer.
Dang. Whoa.
I had to say it like a crazy person, too.
I just imagine you, Kermit, just with the flailing arms above your head.
Yep. 3 backers, everybody. That's not Kermit. What was that?
So do we want to do like the over and under on when we think we'll hit our goal, or is that too presumptuous?
We got 25 days.
I mean, we've got 3 backers in the first 30 minutes. If we keep that up.
Yeah. I'm just excited about this. You know, now we can get in there and do the hard work of promoting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just like the most excited for when I can finally post the pages after a year. I'm like, oh yeah. I've never like been able to like keep secrets for that long. I'm like, oh man, that's like forever.
It's a little torture, isn't it?
I make a comic page. I'm like, I'll wait till the end of the week to post this, and then I go back on my word and post it that day.
Oh, I see. There was a timestamp on it too. Let's just change that.
Okay.
Oh, it just didn't. That's
on
weird.
The specials, on the early bird.
Yeah. I don't remember there being a timestamp, so I don't know. I could have just not noticed it.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah. I want to say that it updated like in the process of making this, but I probably just didn't see it.
I mean, that makes sense because it's like for the people who are early, so it has to be some kind of timing system, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
Although I thought it would be kind of more like a sellout kind of thing, like it's gone kind of deal. I don't know.
Someone in the chat says it's worth donating just to hear that gasp.
Gotta keep the stream going then.
Here I was playing it all cool, like, oh man, I've done this so many times, and yep, I still get excited.
So just so you know, we screwed up and we didn't have our early birds on. So, but you could change your pledges at any time. So if you hop on there and you go, oh dang, that's a good deal. Well, you can still get that deal.
And that
But I believe the early birds are only up there for the first little bit, right?
Yeah, the first week, and some of them are limited. Like our super early bird one, that's actually it's the best deal that we've got. We've only got 10 of those. So the first 10 people get a really good deal. They get the physical copy of the book, the digital copy, an 11x17 folded poster of Kevin's awesome cover, and an exclusive bookmark, which we haven't revealed yet, but that was designed by Jay, who's in the Hangout now.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
It's freaking cool. And you can
That's the bundle to get.
You can get all of that for just $5 more than the book. That's a pretty good deal.
That's a good deal.
I didn't even hear about this bookmark until now. I'm intrigued.
Oh, it's awesome. No, it really is. We're actually going to reveal the design of it if we can hit 25% of our goal. So
That's awesome.
We'll reveal the art.
So tomorrow. That's good.
Yeah.
At about 4 a.m. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got a few hours. We'll just
Actually, that is something worth noting. Like, we got a lot of stuff that's like, we got a lot of moving parts with this campaign. So at 25%, we're going to reveal the bookmark by Jay. At 50%, we're going to reveal our secret comic. We have a comic that we're going to include if we can hit our stretch goal, which isn't too much more than our actual goal. But if we can hit 50% of our actual goal, we're going to reveal this mystery comic. And all I can tell you, this is the part that's not a secret, is that it's by a man named Kevin Cross. I don't know if you've heard of him. And his pal Mark Rudolph. They did a comic, and they're allowing us to put it in the book. So we're going to reveal that.
I want that so bad.
I know, me too.
That is so cool.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. And then also, all of us are going to be doing sketches. Like, we're offering sketches as part of our tiers. Some of us have already gotten started on them, so we're going to be updating all of our graphics with the actual sketches, because some people have actually done them already. Jay did hers. Johannes did his. Jan is working on his right now. I'm going to be working on mine in the next couple of days. Jerry's got his. And so we're going to start filling in that with the actual sketches you can get too, as well as commission samples too. We're gonna be updating that. So there's a few things on here that are going to get updated as the campaign goes on too.
I think the coolest thing I'm looking forward to is those trading cards for sure.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be so cool.
Yeah.
I've always wanted a trading card.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
And see, when I was working on the bookmark, I was pulling a little, like I'd look and find images from each person's comic. But the one that I didn't pull an image from, but I did use, I think I used something that he did. But I have not read Kevin Cross's comic yet. So I'm going to wait until the book comes out before I see that, because that's going to be awesome. He always does such awesome work.
You're so patient.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I would not wait. I would be like, nope.
Well, I was intrigued by some of the images that I saw. I haven't read it yet, but yeah, it looks like it's going to be pretty cool. So I'm hoping that gets included in the final edition if we make the mark.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like the bookmark things. I did that for mine for my Kickstarter, having bookmarks. It sounds like such a lame thing, like on the surface, but then you're like, no, that's actually kind of cool because then it matches the book.
Everybody needs a bookmark too. I'm a bookmark junkie. I got tons of them, and I read so many books at once that like the more the merrier. And it's even better when you have a bookmark for that book. Like I've got your bookmark, and it's in your book. I'm going to use it when I read your book. So
Yeah.
it's cool. Ox, I don't think I got a bookmark from you. I'm very disappointed.
I'm gonna have to start doing bookmarks because definitely I got Holly's metal one, and I use that for pretty much every comic I read. It's too rad.
I have mixed feelings on the metal ones, to be honest, because I'm just kind of like, they're really expensive if you want to get a metal one. Unless you get like 1 million of them, and I'm like, I didn't want 1 million of them.
Well, I got something to shoot for.
Yeah.
1 million bookmarks.
I've gotten some pretty good bookmarks at like when I go to comic conventions. I'll just, because a lot of people make them, and they're like, I've seen some people who just do like the most ridiculous stuff to them. I'm like, this is like an hour's worth of work on a bookmark, and you're selling it for like $3. What are you doing? But I'll buy it anyway because it's cool looking.
Yeah, that's a little expensive for a bookmark.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. They're always like something that I feel like they're lame at first, and then you're like, nah, because then when you're reading, you're like, dang, I wish I had a bookmark.
Mm-hmm. Only had a way to save my place.
Mm-hmm.
Some people like who are just savages will turn the pages into dog ears, and I'm like, you are a disgrace.
That's the worst.
You don't want to do that.
Don't do that. You are what librarians hate.
Better than that.
So for everybody listening, do yourself a favor, spend a little extra, get the bookmark.
Yeah, get the bookmark.
I was thinking, I didn't do a bookmark for mine. Maybe I should do one next one. And then I'm like, wait, my book's only like 22 pages long. I need a bookmark for it.
I don't know though. People still like them.
Yeah.
I've seen like a lot of like indie comic things have like, even people who just do single issues have bookmarks sometimes. I don't know if those are the same people who like also have books but sold out. That could be, I'm not entirely sure, but I've seen it. I keep drawing the wrong shirt. It's like the third time.
You need like a model sheet or something next to you.
Well, it's because the sketch has the wrong shirt, and I'm just like, oh, I'll remember. I'll just draw the normal shirt. No, I won't. You ink what you see, you doofus.
Well, at least you're really good with the likenesses, so it's not like he's transforming before your eyes or anything. He's just a quick change artist, that's all.
Says you, page 2, he's like shrimp, and now he's ripped.
Well, that's because of the behind-the-scenes workout panels that you got.
That's right. Yeah, that's how it happens. You just get ripped overnight. That's how it works.
Yeah, no, totally.
1 push-up equals abs.
Yeah, he's been drinking muscle milk.
Oh, God. I tried that once in high school, and I can't believe people actually drink that on a regular basis. It's gross.
Got to get big and strong so you can make lots of comics.
Exactly.
Yep. That's how that works.
So, Mike, why don't you tell everyone what your comic is about?
Oh, yeah.
It is about a bunch of silly nonsense. My comic is Julie Jupiter, and I wanted to do like a throwback kind of style that is sort of like something that you would see in like 80s heavy metal or 2000 AD, because I grew up on those comics and I love them. And the story is just kind of ridiculous. I like taking really, really mundane characters and putting them into like crazy situations. And so I picked a meter maid. She's a Martian meter maid named Julie Jupiter. And she lives on a satellite. And her whole day gets disrupted when all of a sudden there's a bank robbery across the street. And wouldn't you know it, they parked illegally. and so she had to get involved. So that's what my comic's all about. Surprisingly action-packed for the premise.
And there's so much detail in
Oh
the
yeah.
comic. That is just insane.
Insane's a good
So
word.
put in it.
I saw your pages and I was like, oh man, I should have tried harder.
Oh no. It's pretty nuts. I'm definitely gonna tone it down a bit next time for sure.
I'm gonna tone it up next time, so
All right.
gotta match some of these other artists.
The weird thing with comics, though, it's like once you're used to a certain size, it's like I don't know, like scaling up and down is always really difficult for me. Like I go back and forth between a standardized comic and then like a manga size, and I'm like, oh, that's so awful. But if you get used to like one size, I feel like you'll eventually like not over detail, and you won't also not under detail.
Yeah.
I feel like that's partially why mine was like, oh man, kind of lame.
A big challenge, I think, with especially if you're working digitally too, is figuring out what size brushes to use. And, I mean, I guess even working traditionally, because you can get pens that are just too small to even see. Scan them in and all your detail goes away. But yeah, a lot of that is just so trial and error. I was talking with Adam. He's in the hangout now, but I think he's still having audio trouble. But we were talking last night about using halftone patterns, and I used a lot of halftone patterns in Julie Jupiter, and I printed out maybe like 15 different pages of like tests, just because it's like at some point you start wondering if it's even going to show up the way that you hope it's going to show up.
What did you use for the halftoning? Did you use brushes, or did you just use like image files for the halftoning?
I've got a bunch of brushes that I made actually. There's a way that you can do a halftone pattern in Photoshop, and so I just did a bunch of procedural halftone patterns, and I turned all of them into brushes. So I've got everything going from like a 10% to 100%, and everything in between. And I got two versions. I got one that's like just the dots, and then I've got another one that it's the dots are actually negative space, and the tone is actually like the black around the dots. So, yeah.
Kyle T. Webster has like a pack of those.
I've thought about selling my brushes. I got to get around to putting them together in a pack, because I've got a whole like set that I use that's all based on my own pens and pencils and stuff that I use. They're pretty awesome. They're a little grimy, but I like that. Like when you use them, it actually ends up looking like you scanned in a piece, and like the ink has bled a little bit here and there and stuff. And I don't know. For me, I like that. I like that natural kind of feel to it. But,
I would do it because now, like Kyle T. Webster used to be the guy for like brushes, but now he signed up with Adobe or something, and now it's like kind of a pain to get his brushes. So it's like if you can just offer something that's like easily downloadable.
Yeah,
probably
I would just put it on Gumroad or something. I don't want to do anything complicated. So yeah, look out, Kyle T. Webster?
Yeah, he makes like all the brushes. I love his brushes. I use them for everything.
You might have to say look out me too, because that's one thing that I'm planning on doing. Because I've been doing digital products, but when I finish with these little avatars I'm going to start doing more comic book related stuff.
Cool. Very cool.
I'm too dumb to make brushes. I like looked up a bunch of stuff. I'm like, this is hard. Why are things hard? Forget that. I'll just look it up online.
It is a little bit of a pain. I'll admit it took me a while to get them together, and I really haven't changed them much since. But that's like all that I use now. I barely even use like textures and stuff like that. I tend to stick to those ones that I made.
Nice.
Hey guys, I'm gonna probably like bow out because I gotta wake up and go to work in the morning.
No problem.
But yeah, I know I'll see you tomorrow, Mike. You'll be on the Artcasters.
That's right. Yeah. If anybody's watching, come check out Scott's channel tomorrow.
If all goes well, Kevin will be on too. So
yeah,
and that'll be on my channel tomorrow. Yeah, got a promo thing that I'll put up and tomorrow morning, and Anxious to see kind of where we are when I wake up.
I know. It's kind of like Christmas. I just want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Well, thanks
All
for
right,
hopping
guys.
in, Scott.
Good talking to you.
Bye, Scott.
Nice,
Bye,
Scott.
Bye. Later.
Take care. What do you guys think about maybe wrapping up the live thing and we can just do a regular hangout? Because I think we've pretty much said about all we could say about the anthology at this point.
Yeah, sounds
Did
good to me.
Patrick talk about his story?
I have briefly, yeah. Yeah, just nothing about the details of it, just about that I didn't do dialogue, I suppose. I don't know, I don't really want to talk about it too much. Kind of want to let it be a surprise.
All right, that works. Patrick says you just got to wait and see.
Yeah, exactly. Just buy the anthology if
There
you're
you
really
go.
curious.
No sneaky peeks.
Or go for the retail pack and get 10 of them so you can give them to 9 of your friends too.
There you go.
That's the best deal, really.
You can hand it out to schools, to your library, your local mailman, whatever you
I'm
want.
just saying, it's easy birthday presents for the whole year.
Yeah, no, you got you covered.
Or if you're a hoarder, just buy.
Yeah.
Just have a stack of them, so if they're always nearby, just in case.
For your 27 cats, here's some books.
Cats
on.
love
To read,
reading.
too.
That's what I hear.
Yeah. They like sitting on stuff too, and this thing it's got some texture to it, so they'll
Yeah,
probably like it.
it looks awesome just from the images that you've shown us of the book. It just looks like, it's something that you'll put on your shelf and proudly display.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it turned out great, and the quality of the print was much better than I even expected. It goes well with everything else that I've got on my bookshelf. It feels like it belongs, and that blows me away. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's the real mark.
I cannot wait to be able to have my own copy to hold. Actually, like, look through it. It exists.
Yeah. Well, hopefully not too much longer. We
Yay!
got till February 4th, and I'm pretty confident we can fund by then. I'm not gonna count my chickens. I hope that we do, but yeah, and then it won't be much longer after that before we get it printed and shipped out.
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to throw in a little pitch for my story.
Cool.
Mine is called Europa Can Wait, and it was inspired by Space Odyssey 2001. So there's a little bit. I was working on a separate story, and it just wasn't coming together. And then my husband was watching a Space Odyssey, and I just happened to walk into the room, and I'd walk out, and I'd walk into the room, and I'd walk out. I think I was procrastinating, to be honest. And then all of a sudden, when I was sitting at the computer, banging my head, trying to figure out if I couldn't make this other story work. And then this new story just started coming to me, and so it's about what happens to an astronaut when he meets an alien in space.
Right on.
That's awesome. Yeah, and yours turned out really good too. You had some really nice panels, like just some kind of like vignette sort of moments that are really that really stand out in that story.
Thank you. Yeah, have you ever had like a story and it just fights you, and then all of a sudden it's like the sky opens up and angels come down and they start whispering it in your ear, and you're like, oh, that's how it should go, and then it just falls into place.
I would love to say that I have.
No. All my stories are random jot notes that I smash together.
Yeah, usually it's more like a wrestling match, and I'm losing most of the time. I finally make it out alive. They get pummeled another day.
Oh, that's funny.
But I like the sound of that.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It's like a nice way of describing it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Well, any final words from anybody else before we close this off and call it a night? Any last words?
No, I think we're just all excited about the whole project.
Yeah.
And we appreciate anyone that purchase our books. I mean, that means a lot to us.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm thrilled that we're up so late and there's 3 people that have already backed. That's really cool.
Yay!
I don't know
that
where you
actually
came
kinda blows
from,
my
but you
mind.
should probably get to bed. But thanks.
I'm gonna have to call it a night here in a moment.
Who needs sleep?
I'll definitely be up for several hours more, but I don't think I have the mental capacity to be live anymore.
Oh, we're still live? I didn't even know.
Maybe we should call it night then.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining us in the hangout, everybody.
Yes, thank
it was
you.
really cool.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
And thanks for all your hard work on the comic. And I guess we'll all just I don't know how to send this off.
Bye.
See you next anthology. I don't know.
See you next anthology.
Come check out our Kickstarter and our awesome book. And
that's actually a good point. Let me check one last thing before we go, because I've been having some trouble here with our domain name. I think I finally got it. Let me make sure that it works. And it works. Okay, cool. Here's how we'll send it off.
And you'll put a link in the description box for people.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll be putting links everywhere. You will not miss this link. So, for anybody that's been watching or anybody that watches in the future, you can get straight to our Kickstarter by going to www.100, that's 100, daysofmakingcomics.com. If you just type that in, 100daysofmakingcomics.com, that'll take you straight to our Kickstarter. And then after the Kickstarter, it'll take you straight to our website, where we're going to be making a new website for the 100. So it's a bookmark worth saving. Wow, that was totally like a commercial. I felt like a commercial man there.
Awesome.
You did it perfect.
The clouds opened up.
They did. The angels. They came to me. All right. Thanks again, and good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night, y'all.